this video. Today we are going to be building a command line application. And what is that? Is it means an application that's going to be running via our terminal. So I'm actually going to be using Sublime Text to build. I'm going to be using Sublime Text to build the application. It's a Python app, and we are going to be running that Python application. So, without wasting much time, let me quickly open PowerShell so I can create a new folder and write some files in there. So while we wait for this to load up, so I'm going to show you some command line. And okay, right now I can actually navigate to my desktop. So that's dx. No. So cd is actually a command for change directory. So in desktop, I want to create a new directory. I'm going to use the mkdir keyword, meaning make directory. So can just call it I don't know, say example. I want to name the folder example, and I've created the example folder. And from the example folder I can actually open that up with Sublime Text. So if we close this now, you should see a new folder called example. Exactly. So this is it here, and I'm hovering with it with my mouse. So let me quickly open Sublime Text, and I'm going to use Sublime Text for that actually. So let's create a new folder, or rather open that folder, and let's head on there. But actually we still need PowerShell open, so don't let me close that now. I still need that open, so let me just keep it somewhere. Let's say minimize, minimize the size of that. Okay, and let me just close it down. So the document we created just now is in a desktop, and we called it example, right? So let me just select that and open it up. So yeah, I think Sublime Text does open that for us, so I can close this one and maximize that. Yeah, so this is the new folder. We're going to build in a simple bank application, CLI application. So, because Sublime Text doesn't have a built-in terminal like VS Code, I'll be running everything here and be sending. I'll be writing the code here and be using my PowerShell, which is this application here, to be running it. So yeah, let's get back into it. So, what do we need to do? Of course, first of all, we need to create a new file. A new file, yeah. So we need to create a new file. Let me just call it bang.py, bang.py, and let me save that. Control S. So yeah, bang.py. Where do I want to save it? Of course, desktop. In example, the folder that I created in example, yeah. So open and save there. So yeah, you can see that it has appeared inside the example folder. So now I have that. So first of all, remember how everything we talked about functions. What we say functions were reusable block of code execute specific tasks. Now let me just brief you guys on what we talked about in last week. First we talked about variables. uh variables. Let me check something. Yeah, we talked about variables. We said um variables variables store values. Yeah, we also talked about other things like loops. We talked about loops also. There were two types of loops in Python: the for and the while loop. And the while loops. We talked about functions. Yeah, we said functions are reusable blocks of code that executes a task. Yeah, we talked about so many things. We went for the talking about. We talked about some data structures. Data. Okay. need to comment that we talked about some data structures. We talked about some data structures and some. I said there were two types. Built-in that's specific to programming language, and general purpose that is now specific to all programming languages. And also, yeah, if I can recall, I told you guys also about the lambda function. So before we jump or do anything, I'll just write simple mechanics for all those things. So what's the first thing we talk about? Variable creation in Python. uh variable creation variable creation. Before we start building our app, let's just refresh and everything we talked about. So to create a variable in Python is simple. Let's say we need to create a variable called a, for example. Of course, we use the assignment operator on 5. Now, this is simply or directly trying to tell us that what we have created a variable called a and assigned it the value 5. That's simple. Now, if we go down now, we also talked about loops. Said a loop is used to do something. Okay, let's check this out now. If we press print 5, print a. If I save this now and I go back to PowerShell, and I navigate to example, that's the document, remember, that has bang.py. Okay, it's saying, okay, I need to navigate to desktop because it's stored on desktop. So desktop, if I go to desktop, then navigate to example. Yeah, so I'm in the example now. I can just use, I have a Python interpreter installed, so I can just use Python to run it. So Python, I write bank.py and you see display 5. So you can see 5 here displayed exactly. So you can use an external terminal to run that. So if you go back to the scripts, if you go back to the scripts now, and let me just see print a random thing. Let's see hello world. Hello world. Print hello world. I'm not using VS Code, I'm using Sublime Text. So I've saved that. If we run this right now, and just okay, we can just copy this, Control C, and come down here, and press Control V and enter, and you actually see hello world coming out here. So that's just that for that. So we talked about functions, loops. Okay, loops. Let's go into loops. So what did we talk about? We talked about for loops. Let's quickly talk about the for loop. I said the for loop is a kind of loop that is used when you have a repetition and you know where you want to end. So for example, let's say we're giving to a count. Let's say count from 1 to 20. For example, now we know we are going to end at 20. So remember, I say to start the for loop, use the for keyword. See that Sublime Text has actually highlighted that. So I create a variable called count and say for count in range. Now remember, we also talked about functions. Now I'm using the range function. Obviously, it must follow with a parenthesis. Now there are three arguments that the range function will take. Remember when we were talking about functions, we said that there's something when you create a function, you in the parentheses you create it with something called parameters. Now when you are running that function, the function uses something called arguments that substitutes or replaces the parameter. So going into there, we can just write we can write the range function can actually take three arguments. The first is where you want to start. In our own case, we want to start from 1. The second is where we want to end. But remember, if you can remember, we talked about indexing. We said that in the case of programs, the first index starts at index 0. So you have to attach a higher index. So let's just say 21, meaning we want to stop at 20. And the default step is 1. So we don't really need to attach it. So by default, even without attaching 1, it's going to increase by 1. But we can just you can just attach it or not. So but I won't be attaching that. So now when I've written this, I can just write print count, and when you run that, you will actually be seeing count printing from here. So if we close this and we call paste that out again and press run, yeah, you can see 1 to 20 coming out. So 1, 2, 3, Okay, so yeah, the last video cut. So we're talking about 1 to 20. So that's that for that. So if we go back to Sublime Text, that's for the for loop. We also have that of the while loop. Uh, yeah. So while loop is used when you don't know where you're going to end. So I think I gave example. Okay, let's do the same thing we did here. Uh, okay, now imagine, let's say you want to print something like you want to print the word count 20 times. Let's convert it into a string. Let's convert it into a string. You see the word count being printed 20 times. So I think let me clear this so it will be free. So it's cleared back. Yeah. So let me just copy paste that and enter. So you can see count is being printed 20 times. So I use the clear keyword to actually clear everything. So this is command line. There are a lot of things you need to know, especially for those using Linux. I'm using Windows here, so yeah, that's that for that. So let's go to while loop. So we can actually run the same thing using the while loop. So run while. Actually, to use the while loop, here highlights and let me say while loop. While loop. Yeah, if you come down, the first thing to do, let's say instead of the variable count now, I can just use number. Let me create a new variable called number and set it to what? Set it to 1. Let's say I want to, or let's say I want to count from 20 downwards to 1 instead of 1 to 20. I can start at 20 and say that while the while loop is not compulsory that it must only be used for where you don't want to stop. You can also use it if you have a particular place you want to stop, just like the for loop also. So if you say the while loop, while you can now set the condition in the parentheses and say since number is equal to 20, then let's say number of course must be should I say less than or equal to 1, less than or equal to, or rather number must be greater than or equal to 1. Yes, since we are counting down, greater than or equal to 1. Yeah, so what are we trying to see here? What I'm trying to see is that I want the number to always be greater than 1. Yeah, so number can be 20 and it can also be anything greater than 1. But what must happen? Below 1, the number cannot exist as anything below 1. So it must only be 1 and anything greater than 1, but stopping at 20. Hope you understand. So from there, I can now see print the number out. I want the number to get printed out. And after that, finally, I want what? I want the number to increase by a step of 1. So you can just say number equals to number plus 1 or number plus plus. Anyone works. So hope you understand. Number plus plus. So if we save this now and head back to our stuff, press this run. So you can see what actually happens. It keeps on printing like that, like that, like that. So that's that for that. So that's the while loop. It keeps on going on until something's terminated. So yeah, so it has finished printing 20 downwards. So you can just actually break this by pressing Ctrl C. Yeah, so stop it there. So yeah, that's that for that. So if we go back, yeah, uh so that's the while loop. Then we can talk about functions. So what is a function? Remember I said that function is a rigid block of code that execute a specific task. So let me clear this up. Yeah, so to create a function, of course, use the def keyword in Python. So a simple function, let's say, greet the user, like we said in the class, a simple function to greet the user. Uh, Coming down, what does it do? It just prints, let's say, prints uh, hello, or hello there, hello there, and you save that outrightly. So, of course, you must call the function when you come down by of course just need the uh function name and then parentheses. So let me think. Let me just put these two beside themselves, so I won't have to be closing and opening. So I think, oh yeah, yeah. So that's one thing about Windows, and yeah, this one can actually open. Yeah, so they are both beside themselves now. So all I need to do, let me clear this up. So you'll be seeing both of them happen in real time. So yeah, what am I trying to do? So function now. Now if we control press this and enter here, you see that it does print hello there randomly. So that's the what was meant to be a automatically print hello there randomly. So what am I trying to say? Next thing, let's try argument. So when you're creating a function, okay, now that I've seen that, I can cancel this. Now, when you're creating a function, let's say I created a function and I require a parameter here. Let's say the parameter was name, and of course I'm taking a parameter. So what am I doing? I want to print hello name instead of hello there. So I just embed that in f string. Hello name instead of hello there, and of course you must attach the f string. There's another way of actually doing this string, another type of string formatting, but I'll show you that now. So if you come down, you need to, when you finally call the greet user function, but when you finally call the greet user function, you must attach the name. So what name are you going to give now? For example, what name are you going to give? I don't know. Let me see, Sarah or something, for example now. Of course, it must be a string, or else it won't work. Like I told you guys in the class. Why? Because there's no variable called Sarah, so it won't work. So, if we run this now, Control V, you can see that that gives us hello Sarah. So, if you don't want string formatting like this, you can actually do it another way. Instead of using f string, you can just write hello, empty this. Think at the end you can write dot dot format format, but this method is not actually recommended again. So what happens, it does format the name inside. So dot format name. So yeah, just it's just trying to say that, okay, please help me to format the first name, but not sure. Yeah, so you can see that it's actually flagging for, yeah, that kind of error stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure if it works now, but yeah, it used to work, before. I think Python, so on, things like that. So this is this for this. And finally, uh, what can we try? Let me clear this off. It won't take most of our space. Let's try a name. So stick with F string. Yeah, let's stick with F string because it's better. So close this out. So of course we can use input function. Let's say name equals to inputs. Uh, inputs. You write this. What is inputs? What's the input there? You can just say uh enter enter your name or anything, right? So when you write enter your name, print F. See, you can write name in here. Save that, and so when you run this, you don't actually need uh don't need the parameter again. You don't need this. So all you need to do is just call that. So what happens here is that a name is asked. When you enter that name, it displays the name. So running that, let's come here and run. To enter your name, let's say D, and it displays hello D. So that's that for that. So yeah, finally, data structure. So we talked about data structures. We said there are some that are inbuilt data structures, and the inbuilt ones, what are they? We have lists. Now lists are the kind of data structures that are, should I say, yeah, they are dynamic, meaning after creation they can change. They are also, Yeah, so lists are also heterogeneous. What do I mean by heterogeneous? I mean that you can store different kind of data types on a list. So let's quickly create a list and just call it okay, fruits. For example, now fruits. I created a list and call it fruit. So of fruits is of course, let's say I have so many fruits. Let's say mango, just so you know, lists are also called iterables. Anything that you know, any data structure that you can have multiple elements inside, you can call it an iterable because you can iterate through it through loops like the for loop and things like that. So mango, apple, what else? Grape, I don't know, any fruit you like. So that's that for that. So any food you like. So this is a list. Now what do I mean by list is dynamic. Now after you create a list, you can actually access an element in that list using something called indexing. So now to access let's say you want to access the element of apple now. Of course, you know I told you that by index, mango takes 0, apple takes 1, grape takes 2, pawpaw takes 3. So if I say print to access something, you actually need to use the list name. In our case, the name of our list is fruits, followed by squares, then the name of the index number of the element. Example, the index number of apple is 1. So if we print this, run this, you should see apple displayed on the store here. So okay, yeah, it's displaying apple grape because we didn't put comma here. So we need to put comma here. So uh let's rerun that. Yeah, so you can see apple being displayed. So that's that. So that's how to access. So unlike you know your normal numbers, you start counting from one. In the world of programming, you start from 0. So that's that for that. Then so what next are we saying? Finally you can iterate through it. So let's say we want to find which of uh let's say we want to find if there's a fruit called grape. We know there's a fruit called grape in the iterable that's list. So, but we want to find it. So we can look through it by saying for fruits, that means we are creating a new variable called fruits, and we are searching if that variable called fruits is in the fruit. So for fruits in fruits, let's just say for fruits in fruits, uh if uh if fruits we can just see if fruit equals to we are trying to check if fruit equals to mango okay we said grape right. Prints prints there is mango, there is grape in the list, grape in the list else, just trying to show you these things in action. Else, if that else means if fruit is not there, I want it to print it is missing. It is missing. So simple terminology. So I want to run this now. So what are we trying to do? We're saying for fruit in fruits, if fruit is equals to grape. So we are trying to iterate. Now, the first one, it should check mango, which is the first fruit. Now, mango is not equals to grape. So we can say so it is actually going to it's not going to see anything because why? We didn't check for mango. We are only checking if fruit is equals to grape. So when it checks this, doesn't see anything, it's going to move to the next one, say apple. Check if so when it sees grape, if it sees there's grape there, it's going to print there's grape in the list. So if we run this press enter, you can see what happened. For the first fruit, it actually prints it is missing which is this index. The second one, it is missing. The third one, there's grape in the list, which is for grape. And the fourth one is it is missing. So yeah, now imagine if there was no fruit at all. Let's say we just called it one random name, or banana is not there. So if we write banana, what's going to happen? What is going to happen now is that it's going to print it is missing 4 times. So because there's no fruits called uh banana here. So that's that for that. You can iterate through list and that. So there's another data structure, or yeah, storage mechanism called tuple. So tuples are similar to list. It's just that after creation of a tuple, you can't change it. Okay, let me show you guys how you can actually change a tuple, a list component. So, okay, let's say we want to change the apple now to another thing. Since we have it called apple here, we can actually change that. Now, all we need to do is to change this fruit one equal to, we can change the name to, let's say we can change it to banana now. Banana now. Yeah. When we save this, now we have changed it to banana. Now that line obviously going to be interpreted by interpreter. When we now display print fruit again, you see that instead of it displaying mango, apple, grape, pawpaw, it's going to display mango, banana, grape, pawpaw. So that's what is going to happen. So print fruits, if you save this, what's that contrast? Okay, so let me clear this up and run. Okay, it actually flagged for error. Why was that? Why was that? So the term fruit one is not recognized as the name of. Uh, did you spell that right? Uh, I don't know why it did that, but then okay. Uh, fruit two. All right, so the reason why I did that, I just saw it now because I noticed that that syntax is actually correct, was because of it's fruit. So I'm actually pasting here. It's not fruit, so I'm actually meant to paste. Of course, it's Python. What's it called again? Python. Yeah. So the name of the file. So yeah, I can get cranky sometimes. So yeah, so you can see it has actually changed the name: mango, apple, cow, pawpaw. Yeah, so that's it. That's that for that. So, yeah, I've changed it. So, unlike tuples after creation, a tuple is just a list, but this time, it's not dynamic. Meaning, when you create it, you can't change its content. So, let's create another a tuple. But tuple this time, instead of square brackets, use round brackets. So, that's that. Instead of square, use round. Okay, so close this. So instead of square, use round brackets. Now, writing this, you can't change it. See what happens when. Okay, let me change this now to, let's say, baskets. I'll see what happens when you try to change. Uh, let's say this entire line, and you come down here and try to do that. Instead of, let's change baskets to now this time instead of fruits. Now I created a new tuple, and I created a tuple called the basket. And instead of this, let's just say print basket. All right, so let's finally build uh, CLI bank application. So yeah, I think I've already tried out a lot of things. So let me just stop this server and play it up so we can start fresh. So yeah, what are we doing? First of all, to build, we need some things. We are going to create actually. We are going to actually create three functions to basically do what every bank application does. And what is that? Of course, withdraw, deposit, check balance, those things. So yeah, we're going to create three functions. So first of all, let's start creating those functions. The first function will be the deposit function. Remember, for the three tasks you can do on an ATM, we need to create three functions which will execute those tasks. Deposits, deposits. First of all, we need to set our balance to zero. Balance. Remember, the user or whoever is using an account must have zero balance. Balance of zero. Then next we can create functions. Deposit. Based on the deposit, the balance will change. So when you deposit, of course, you need an amount to be deposited. So we are going to create a parameter called amount. And what happens after that? Yeah, when we deposit, of course, the balance. Let's say immediately there is a deposit, the new balance is going to change to the amount deposited. Am I right? Yeah. So after that, we can just say a print. What do we want to print? We want to print uh your new balances, your new uh balance is balance. So that is actually going to print what for us? That is going to print the amount that was deposited when the deposited function is called. So for the next one, of course, we want to withdraw, right? Withdraw. Yeah, so if we're going to withdraw anything, yeah, to withdraw we may actually need to take two functions. So of course, yeah, when finally an amount has been deposited, we need to return the new balance because we are going to take it as an argument for another function. So we need to return that. We're going to take it later. So withdraw now. To withdraw, we need the new balance because we are going to withdraw from it, and another argument called withdraw amount. So the amount to be withdrawn. So let's just call it withdraw amount. Withdraw amount, let's say the first argument, and second argument is going to be what's new balance. New balance. So yeah, what am I trying to say? When that function is called, I'm going to say that the balance now, which was created, is now what the balance now is now yeah. So the balance is what's the balance? Balance is new balance minus withdraw amount, right? New balance that was created from perhaps let's say deposits minus withdraw amount. Yeah, so that's that for that, and we can just see print print yeah your new balance is balance. So I'm not really writing, I'm not adding loops. If you add loops, it will make it more you know approachable. So but I just want to show you guys basic everything we learned. So then definition was create function, then check balance. This one, of course, any balance that is returned, return balance. Any balance that is returned, check balance. What does this do? This does what? Now uh this displays a balance to us. So yeah, is going to take his own checked balance. Let's just say should I say checked balance. So checked balance. So the checked balance is generally going to be the balance. So that's actually what we are looking for. That's what we are looking for. So on this I can see print your balance is balanced, but we are or instead of this doesn't really need to actually take anything. You can just display the balance directly. You can just actually go and display balance, but well after a particular amount you don't really need to do that. You can just be checking balances directly from there. So, okay, let's even say we want to use this tool, and let's say we can now display some things like print uh welcome to okay, print what do you want, and finally print one deposits, and sorry for rushing, trying to beat time, print uh two. So I'm not really making this elaborate, just some random things we draw. So now we have this. So now we can just create a function called option. See was inputs actually it should be an integer input, because we want to collect a particular choice from the user to start the processes to enter your choice. So after we've done that, we can now go down, be more of like let's say if option equal to one. We know the user wants to what? We know the user wants to deposit, right? So all we need to do is to call the amount he wants to deposit. Let's say we can just call it deposit amount. So we can call deposit amount, and of course it needs to be an integer, unless the math won't work, the math won't calculate. So it needs to be depositing an integer. So when he finally, I say, enter your deposit amount, you can just put deposit amount here. So now you guys can see deposit amount. So come down. Finally, since we have deposit amount, we can just go straight ahead by doing what? By calling this function. So now we just call deposit. And what do we pass inside? We pass in the deposit amount as an argument. So deposit. So when we okay, let's even try out what we've done. Let's see Python bang.py. You can see welcome to OPay. What do you want? First deposit, second withdraw. If you press one, it's going to initiate enter your deposit amount. Okay, let's simply say 200. Now if you enter that, you can see your new balance is 200. So it does told us directly that nothing much, the new balance is 200. So we can actually go down and create an elif statement for option 2, that is for withdrawal. uh so let's say this is elif, but I told you guys about elif. So elif option 2, let's say if the user actually picks number 2, not number 1 this time. No, this time it will be withdraw amount, because he wants to withdraw. So Okay, so this time, sorry, because he wants to draw, withdraw. Yeah, that's correct spelling. So integer, enter your withdrawal amount. Withdrawal. Enter your withdrawal amount. So finally we call the withdraw function taking two arguments. Withdraw, draw, call that function, and the two arguments, of course, the first one is withdraw amount. That is the first argument is going to be taken. So instead of calling withdraw amount, let me just call it withdrawable. So I won't be conflicting or withdrawn rather if there's anything like that. Withdraw. So the first argument, withdraw amount, is going to be taken is withdrawn instead of deposit amount. Withdrawn, withdrawn. And finally, the second one is new balance. And of course, we know that new balance is balance because balance is going to take this balance directly. So and this balance is already a global variable, so we can just pass it here as balance. So it automatically knows that the balance is zero. So it's going to do the maths, and of course, it's going to take new balance minus blah blah blah. Then we're going to print a new balance. So what happens is that it's going to do zero. Zero, the new balance is actually zero minus the withdrawal amount. So let's say I enter 200 now, it's zero minus 200. So it's going to give us minus 200 as the final balance. So let's try it. Control. Okay, sorry, that's not what I wanted to paste. Python bank.py. And then let me try two. Enter the draw amount. Let me see 200. And yeah, so you can see your new balance is minus 200. So that's just it for this video, guys. Just wanted to show you guys basic command line bank application. So from here we go on to bigger things. I'll be showing you more things on things like, I think this week we are going into object-oriented programming, programming paradigms, and things like that. So yeah, make sure to like, and comment, and also subscribe to the SUG Solutions channel, because this is the official channel how we how we tutor people, and this is how news spreads out, because YouTube isn't going to recommend a channel that people are not liking, clicking, and sharing. So please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye.